Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. I'm here with the Wolf, and this is obviously just general share advice and not personal advice. Wolfie. So we're back to the same old theme, right? So we're back to this market and possibly a little bit of a bounce. So can I have a look at the charts with you just 1 second? Because I want to. Can we create the bigger picture and then quickly just have a look at some stock ideas?
Let's go. Let's go.
Sound good to you?
Because
So
we had a pretty good discussion today about the bigger picture. So let's go.
So last night I was lying in bed, and as you do, lying in bed, you look at charts. Am I the only person that does that? I most probably am, but anyway.
Yes.
So I think most people watch Netflix, but Dave, being boring, just looks at his little charts, right? And so I was interested. I was looking at the Dow because the Dow is obviously this benchmark towards momentum. And I'm trying to look how the Dow has moved in the past, Wolf, and where it's found support. And I'm very, very pleased to see it has found support at this sort of 3,000 level. And like I said, we're only trading where we were last year. And generally speaking, the common sense hat, which I think you have to put on, the common sense hat says the world's got massive problems, war or no problem, inflation everywhere. There's a good chance that obviously we're going to come a lot lower over the next 6 months. But how are we going to move over the next 1 month or 2 months or maybe 3 months, right? And if you go back in time and you look a little bit back towards sort of 87, there we are on a big sell down. And originally the market came down to from 14,000 to 12,262, and everyone's going, oh, that's a big fall, that's a bit of a crash, and then we had a nice little bounce, right? And then bang, right? Now I think we're very well set up for that type of move. And the reason I'm saying that is now we're getting into July, August, and the markets do get a little bit quiet. A lot of the big CEOs, everyone goes on holiday, Wolf. It just tends to chill out a little bit. And historically, Wolf, when you get a decent pullback, it's often those months, September and October. Don't ask me why, but certainly, well, we know why, because that's where the market's had big falls in the past. And the market tends to get a little bit nervous around that September, October time. And I'm only talking charting, Wolf. I'm not talking fundamentals in this at all, right? And this is what we want to do. We want to overlay your fundamental view of the world, right? But what the charts are most probably saying is that we're going to bounce up into September, right? And September, October, then we crash, right? Now, if that theory is right, these little tech stocks, which are having a bounce, could keep on bouncing for the next month or so. So there could be a lot more into them. So that's a chart. So when you look at that, obviously, I'm excited about some of these tech stocks. Now, these tech stocks are stories that you like, Wolf. They're stories that fundamentally you think are a little bit oversold. And we spoke about DTC yesterday. And again, good to see that one is up another, was that 28% today. So good to see that story bouncing very, very, very nicely. Another story that we talked about yesterday was ERD. And I even prefer the price action on ERD. So I'm going to move to a daily chart. And what we're going to do, we're going to be looking at these off daily charts at the moment. And good to see it, again, bouncing. And that's got a nice risk reward there, Wolf. It's trading 208. You've got a stop loss at sort of 189. And potentially you could retest that 250. And again, a good story, but it's starting to do a similar sort of price action to what we're getting before with DTC. So good story, making money. So the stories that you feel confident with. Another one of those stories is really OCL. Again, we know it's a quality story, and it's starting to trade quite nicely, Wolf. And I think you've got a nice stop loss, maybe just under 1481. And if you look at it, and I like the risk reward on it. And if you look on the charts, you've got the potential to move up and retest around that 1626. But certainly, if we do get that sort of, how do you say that sort of, we get a month and a half, little bit of a little bit of a bounce, maybe it could come back just under that 18 level, right? So looking good. I think your FCL's looking quite interesting. Now we know it's had a massive fall, but it's starting to bounce. I think where it gets interesting is you look on that daily chart, you've got a stop loss at 158, Wolf, 158, and you can potentially have a nice little bounce up to $2, even $2.50. I'm really liking the risk reward of that play. More risky, Wolf. This would be tier 3 to you. The reason being, not profitable. Correct?
Yeah, well, we could go through those actually tiers so everyone understands where we're coming from, right?
Yeah.
So there's a little bit less confusion. So I've ranked them. I've gone through what I'm thinking is, I mean, I've ranked them in order of risk, I suppose. So the tier 1 are the less riskier. So you've got the OCLs, the bigger stuff, right? You've got your profitable, bigger, billion-dollar type companies like Seeks, your realestate.com.au, car sales. OCL can go into the category as well because it's over $1 billion. Your Altiums, right? All those things. That's tier 1. Tier 2 is the stocks that are cash flow positive, maybe small cash flow positive, because so there's a little bit risk involved, maybe with capital raisings. And then you've got the still, you know, bleeding cash left, right, and center. Doesn't matter if they're big or small. It's just much more risk because of capital raisings and so on. So that's the 3-tier system we've decided to go with for the next maybe few weeks. And let's see how they go. Look, they're all going to probably have some sort of degree of maybe bounce, Dave, right? Because most of them have been sold significantly off. I'm just, you know, trying to sort of pick here and separate them somehow.
I'll tell you why I like your high risk one, your FCL, right? Because your stop loss is pretty tight. So it's a bit of a tick box, Wolfie. Like, I know a risky stock, like you said, but you're buying it just as it's sort of broken up. So you've got a tight stop on it on that daily, right?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. You know, I think, like you said, doesn't matter if you're risky or not. It's just probably still going to go up a little bit. So all you're doing is just not ticking an extra box, which is okay. You know, if you're prepared to take that extra risk.
Another one of your extra risks is Dubber. Which again, you've got to, you know, it's starting to look a little bit better on the daily. You want to make it maybe swing a little bit more, but it is a sort of stock that you could see recover back quite strongly. And you've got a nice little stop loss at 0.77. So not a huge loss if it doesn't work out for you. Remember, Wolfie, importantly, these stop losses are at the end of each day, right? This is not weekly. So, but you've got potentially a nice little stop loss there. You've got your 360 again, which is high risk, Wolf. And I think you're going to have to lift your stop loss on this one just under that 350, say 345 around here. But you can see some of these high risk little plays. There's 3 there.
Can I just add something else to this there? Because it's look, I love this risk rewards here, but I just want to say, maybe, you know, when you're looking at trading this, don't be greedy, right? Maybe do it. If you see a bit of a profit in a week, take it and start again the following week, type of thing, because you just don't know when this music's going to stop again. So I'm just thinking.
Definitely. So if you have these big moves, obviously just keep lifting your stops a little bit.
That's right.
Wolfie, and then you've got some of the big ones. So PME. Now, how you're going to classify PME is somewhere.
Oh, look, it's tier 1 because it's profitable. It's, you know, very good story. The only thing that's going against it, which is fine in this market because it's, you know, it's a recovery type stuff, is the PE. So yeah, like, definitely tier 1 PME.
Okay, so if it does have a little bit of a move, maybe it needs to go over that weekly hump, Wolf. Maybe if it starts again, have a look on that daily. If it starts got a little bit, I think if it gets over 47, maybe you have 47.80, say 48 on Monday next week, you might have a look at it. It might trade back up to sort of 52. And like you said, just taking small little profits is the game. The other one, Wolfie, I like on the charts is ALU. So, you know, it has done this before, but I think the market is looking to at recovering these type of stories. And again, this is more of a class act. And again, if you look on the weekly, you know, it's got a little bit of room to move up the weekly for it really tests larger resistance, maybe at $32. So I think that one looks very good. And can you just bear with me and have a look at your XRO? Because again, this is another tier 1. And, you know, you've got to like that daily, and it's starting to sort of poke its little head up, isn't it? Not looking too bad. And you've got decent risk reward here, Wolf, with a stop loss at, 83, say 70. I'd say 83, yeah, 83.71, somewhere around there. Maybe just give it a little bit of leeway. It is a daily chart after all, and your weekly, possibly could come back and retest somewhere just under that 92 level. So I like the risk reward in XRO, and I think those are some ideas, Wolfie, some pretty interesting ideas which people could trade.
Yeah,
I will be looking at the moment. We're going to look to obviously make these trades official and redo the website a little bit, Wolf, so we can put them out as daily trades.
Yep.
And obviously,
Okay.
because I think it's just a really interesting little section of the market where possibly people can have a little bit of a make a little bit of money.
100%, Dave. Maybe we're going to, like you said, maybe we're going to have that 1 or 2 months of good performance. So why not take advantage of it? For the traders, day traders out there, especially when they look decent on the dailies.
Definitely, and like I said, and I think we're just encouraged by the view that possibly, it's time for that little bit of a bounce. Which, if we get that, then the market could be all right for the next month and a half. Give us a little bit of a breathing space, Wolf.
Exactly, a bit of comfort that maybe we can scrape $1 here or there.
On that note, Wolf, thank you very, very much, and thank you very much for all the hard work, because I know you've been looking all morning at tier 3, tier 2, tier 1, and just trying to work out a system where we can feel more comfortable in these things. And we're trying to pick these tier 3s really on tight stops.
Yep.
I think the other one we haven't mentioned is JLG, Wolf. And again, the reason I haven't mentioned is it's just bounced up to trend, fantastic, which looks absolutely fantastic. And I think it's just a bit of resistance there, and it's followed a pretty tight exhaustion pattern. Wolf, just one thing I wanted to mention about going, obviously, trying to explain a little bit on the theory about how we're looking. We follow these exhaustion patterns, how the markets move. And if you can see here where the markets have been moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 30, which is a natural Fibonacci number, right? From when it's turned here, often the markets, they need to clear out and do that system. And often what you've seen back here, for example, when it started moving here, we started seeing that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then on the 13. So when markets turn off and as they move, and then you're seeing a 9 here, 9 here, 9. So you're seeing these sort of patterns how stocks tend to move, right?
Yeah.
It just hasn't done enough, right? For all.
Can you just go back to that 2007 period? I just want to see how many months that we had a green one on maybe a little bounce. So we had 1, 2 at most, right? Okay, that's see how we got twice. We've got very small little months of just a bit of lull, and then we're going down again in that 2008 period.
Yeah, and that's
so and then one days ago there's another one. So maybe like you said, maybe 2 months of maybe we can make a couple of bucks here or there.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. All right, Wolfie, absolutely brilliant. We're live at pretty soon now, in an hour. So look forward to that, Wolfie. See you there,
Thanks,
mate.
guys. See you then.
Bye.